Hi everyone, welcome to Joelmar's War in the East channel's first technical capsule. Today's subject is the Commander's Report, which is the main tool used for management in the game. I will do a quick presentation of its main features and show a few techniques to help you use it efficiently. In this video, I will use the patch version 1.12.04. For those using the 1.11.03 patch version, there are a few differences, most of them concerning the new supply system, but the basic concept and methodology are the same. Let's begin by opening the Commander's Report, either by clicking on this button in the Info screen tab, or you simply press C on your keyboard. The Commander's Report is organized in 7 different tabs, each giving access to a different category of data. Units, HQs, air groups, leaders, those 4 categories concerning your faction only, battles concerning both sides, locations, only the locations that you control, and equipment, which lists the different types of ground elements, aircraft, and weapon available to both sides. The ground elements are the basic items listed in the units window. So if we go in the unit window, right click on it, and here are the basic elements that constitute your unit. So the equipment tab with its different sections is the place to analyze the composition of your units and understand their specific capabilities. Okay, so back to our units tab. It contains all the on-map and off-map units of your faction. Off-map units are those not shown on the map, which includes all support units. The only units not represented in this tab are the air groups, which have their own tab. Right under the tabs, you have the total number of units selected and also details about their personnel. Those numbers change when you choose some filters, which are the main tools to use to refine the number of units displayed on the list. There are many types of filters. The most obvious are the ones at the bottom of the window, and most are self-explanatory. But if you are like me, it may be a little confusing at first. Let's do a quick overview of the different possibilities. There are 3 different sections for the filter in the bottom. The first 4 columns and the last 4 columns are mainly concerning the state of the units, and the columns in the middle are concerning the type of units. Let's say you want to see only the infantry, so you can first clear all the lists by selecting none here. The units which filters are selected, the types appear red here. So now none is selected, so it appears red. If you want to see only the infantry, you choose the infantry. Uh, Same thing for armor. This column here is for HQ types, so you can see the Corps HQ, the Army HQs. So if you want to see again all the units listed, you can do either all, or you can do clear all filters. Okay, here in the state filters, you can select only the isolated units. Here you can choose the size, so army groups, lists only the army groups, army corps. Those 3 sizes are mainly concerning HQs, of course. Divisions, brigade, regiment, battalion, company, and so on. You can see also frozen units, static units, non-frozen and static. In principle, on map units, choose what nation you want to see. You want to see Germany only, Finland, Italy, Romania, Hungary, Slovakia, back to all. On the right side of the window, there are a few very useful filters. Depleted, combat ready, loaded, and withdraw are self-explanatory. HQ range is useful when you need to know what units are out of range. Choose out of range and then switch to the current view, and you will have the complete information in the last 4 columns here. The experience under and moral under filters both work in the same way. You insert the maximal percentage the units displayed must have. So let's say you want to see all units under 80 experience. Simply insert 80 and you got it. This is a great tool to set your TOES maximum based on moral by example. The export button is for exporting some data in a CSV file to be used in a spreadsheet. Other filters can be found in the list. So let's say we click on a unit name and then select Set OB filter. It will display all units of the same type as the unit you selected. To return to the full list, simply click on the unit name again and select Clear OB filter. The last filter for the units window is the Higher HQ filter. Just click on the name of the HQ and only the units directly assigned to that HQ will be displayed. So that means that units assigned by example to a Flieger Corps won't be listed when you select its Luftflotte HQ. If you click on the map coordinates under the location column, you will be brought to the corresponding unit with its unit window open. In the top right corner in the Units tab, you have options to change the displayed data and get some information about supply. The main view shows the unit's basic stats and composition. If you select Current, you see the current supply situation of the listed units in percentage. If you select ABS, you get the absolute numbers along with the units need for each supply category. In the source, you see what the units received from HQs and cities. In the local view, you see what the unit requested versus what it has received, and finally, in the mod view, you see the supply modifiers that were applied to the units. The last section is the function section. You can use it to change three properties of all the displayed units. First, the unit status, refit, reserve, and none. Then you can set the max tow, and last, the support level, which applies only to HQs. A simple example on how to use the filters will be to set at 60% to all German infantry units under 75 moral. So let's clear the filter, which is always good to start with when using the function, so you don't forget any filter on that are not wanted. And then select only the Germans. Select the none here to clear all the type filters, and select then only infantry. So we have only German infantry. Then we select only the infantry below 75% moral. So if we sort the list here, descending, we have all the units under 75. And then we go to max tow and we set it to 60. Click OK. The units with their max tow properties in white can be changed either because they're withdrawing soon or they are static like those here. So their toes can be changed, but all the others can, and they were changed. If you click on a single one, you can change it individually. So here it is. It was changed to 80. You can use the refit reserve. So if you click one, all the units that can be changed again are changed. The static ones can be changed. So that was an example on how to use it. So let's continue with the HQs tab. This one is much simpler. It lists only the HQs and includes data related to the HQ role. Like in the Units tab, you have at the top the total of units selected and then statistics on how many of each type. There are only a few filters, quite easy to understand. Nation and HQ types. High Command, Army Groups, Army, Corps, Construction, and Air. The same principles apply as in the Units tab, with the All and None filters, along with the Clear All Filters button. So you can choose whatever type of HQ you want, and then again refine with the Higher HQ filter. When you click on the numbers below any column, it opens a pop-up with the breakdown of the troops composition under the HQ. down to the bottom of the chain. The top row gives first the number of men, and the corresponding table lists the number of squads, which explains why the numbers are different. When you click on the numbers below the gun, AFV, and aircraft columns, you get the totals of individual elements instead of squads. These links at the top open the same tables. By clicking on the leader name, you open the leaders window. Then we need to reopen the commander's report. The last columns list first the support levels. CU column lists the number of combat units attached to an HQ. SU is for the support units. CP is for command points. Positive numbers when space is available and negative when the HQ is overloaded. Build up, I guess, is for when a unit has done an HQ build-up, and frozen gives the number of turns an HQ must remain frozen. The only function is support level, which is the same as in the Units tab. I won't dwell on the subject of support levels and support unit flow in this video, but my next capsule will be entirely dedicated on how to manage support units. Next is the Air Groups tab. Again, the same principles apply. Totals in the top row with some more filters, functions, and sortable columns. I won't go into details because most are self-explanatory, but I will mention a few useful things, like the group range function which permits to change the range of the selected aircrafts in one go. You can easily manage what air groups you want to fly or not by assigning group range. It must be noted that, as in the other tabs, most of the data and functions represented in this tab mirror those available in the unit window, which in this case you can open by clicking on the air group name. So the data in this corresponds to what is in the Air Groups tab columns, and the functions here are mostly the same as in the Air Groups tabs, except that here you can specify which type of aircraft you want to upgrade to. I must also point out how careful you must be when using the functions in the Commander's report, because they affect all the units displayed and almost all functions are not reversible. In this case, group range, upgrade, and replace are the only ones that can be changed more than once during the same turn. One last thing I want to mention is the travel column, which gives the percentage of available miles the air group has traveled, helping in the assessment of how much air miles you still have available. That completes the Air Groups tab. Let's continue with the Leaders tab. The Leaders tab is also very simple. You have the list of leaders, their ratings, restrictions, max command, dismissal cost, victory, defeats, and fate. The filters at the bottom let you select leaders by their HQ assignments, restrictions, max command, and fate. I often use this tab to sort by the desired ratings the best leaders available for a particular assignment. Then on to the Battles tab, another really simple one. You have a list of all battles that occurred in the preceding turn of your opponent and your current turn. You can filter by the ground or air phase of a battle. The data displayed lists the totals of attackers, defenders, the losses for both, and finally the number of defenders that escaped. In the case of this battle here, by example, we see that the defenders unit was shattered, and from the 1,915 men and 110 guns that were involved in the defense, only 10 men managed to escape to the Soviet pools or to become partisans. In the Locations tab, you have a list of all the towns and cities you control on the map, including those you conquered in your opponent's territory. The data displayed concerns the quantities of supplies and resources available in each location in the storage view and the total of industry points available in the industry view. There is a filter for the captured locations. The on-map filter permits to toggle between on-map, off-map, and all. Damage factories toggle between damage, undamaged, and all. Finally, the Equipment tab, which doesn't have many filters but is maybe the most confusing.
The ground view lists all elements of both Axis and Soviets all mixed together. It must be noted that an element is the basic unit of troops. The basic unit of infantry is a squad. It contains a number of men and weapons. The basic unit of AFVs is one AFV plus its crew and smaller weapons like rifles and guns and machine guns. And it's the same for howitzer and guns, one gun, its crew, and small arms weapon. Let's take an AFV by example. When you open the Panzer 1B elements window, you can see that it is constituted of one Panzer 1B tank, 2 men, and one 7.92 twin MG13 TMG light gun. Next, let's filter out the Axis and open a Soviet rifle squad. We see it has 11 men which carry these weapons here. The data displayed in the table contains information and stats related to the elements. The start date and end date gives you the date range of the element's availability to be built. The aircraft view lists the individual aircraft models available to both sides. There is nothing really difficult in this view, but it must be noted that here the range is listed in miles instead of in X's. The equation to calculate the range in X's is range in miles divided by 30 equals range in X's. The final view is the weapons view. This table lists all the weapons that the elements in the first two views carry, and some of their stats. When you click on a weapon name, it lists the elements that use them. By example, this 303 Vickers model is used by these 5 aircrafts in the Finnish Air Force. Another example, this 792 STG-44 rifle is used by all those elements. Please note that AFVs are not considered as weapons like a rifle or an howitzer, so they don't appear in this view. This completes the overview of this tab and also this presentation of the Commander's Report in patch 1.12. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed creating it. I haven't played a game yet in patch 1.12, so I discovered the new features at the same time. I must say that it is a very nice upgrade from the old one, and many thanks to Morphal for his excellent work. I didn't expect to make such a long capsule for the Commander's Report, but I guess there was much to cover. I went fast over a few things, but I covered the basics and much more. If you wish to have more information, there's a whole chapter about the Commander's Report in the updated manual version 2.55. You can find it in section 26.3, Appendix C. But please keep in mind that the updated manual is currently up to date only with patch version 1.11.03. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more. My next capsule will be on the support unit's flow. Ciao everyone!
На поле танки грохотали, солдаты шли в последний